What's up, everyone? In this video, it's another true crime video. Love my true crime. And if you're watching this, hopefully you do too. Killer tries to pin murder on his sister. Unless the sister was involved, that's pretty sickening. Killer tries to pin murder on his sister. Let's get right to it.
May 12, 1987. A teenager comes home to discover his mother has been savagely attacked. Police arrive and find the victim half naked, stabbed to death. The victim is 38-year-old Genora Faye Stevens, a part-time secretary and mother of a teenage son.
As I came into this house, television was on. She had laundry laid out. She's folding laundry. I mean, you know, this is what people do. And then I saw the amount of blood.
She was raped and murdered.
Her son came home to discover her in her last breaths. It looks like this photograph. She tried to
Yeah, that's a lot of blood in the walls.
get on the phone, call 911. In her last few minutes of life, she put up a hell of a fight. Suspect literally had to become very determined to end her life.
Huff has one potential lead.
I found a witness that saw a guy near the crime scene an hour or so after the homicide, and he was wearing a jean jacket and looked like he'd been in a fight.
To Huff's disappointment, they can't find the man in the jean jacket, and the case goes cold. 3 months later, a possible break. Police arrest 19-year-old Quentin Barnes for burglary. Huff learns Quentin was living next door to the victim Genora at the time of her murder.
As I looked into the past, found out he was a cocaine abuser, not a very stable guy.
CSI searches Quentin's house and finds a jean jacket like the one the witness saw on the night
He looks like a kid.
of the murder. Huff's instinct kicks in.
These little bits and pieces of minutia are adding up and adding up. This guy is coming together as a suspect.
Looks to be like, if I had to guess, I would say between 17 and 23.
Huff questions Quentin, but his potential suspect denies even knowing Genora.
Wait. They're next door neighbors and he denies knowing who she is? And also, didn't they say that she was half naked? And you have here, killer tries to pin murder on his sister.
Feeling I knew it was him, but I had to let him go.
As the years pass, the unsolved murder of Genora Stevens is never
This happened in 1987.
far from Huff's thoughts.
What I really wanted was the truth. I wanted to find out why that happened to that lady. I just was not going to give up.
7 years after the murder, Huff processes the jean jacket again, taking advantage of advances in forensic science.
If it was him and they lived next door, this was like rape. This was sexual. He wanted the effort.
This time, they discover fibers on the jacket similar to the ones from the victim's robe. They also find on the jacket a woman's hair that may belong to Genora. Forensic results still are not 100% conclusive.
The evidence was entirely circumstantial, but I got enough to arrest him for the murder.
To build a solid case, Huff needs a confession.
Gosh, that's her hair on his jacket, and them being neighbors. The defense could easily say, come up with well, he went over there and borrowed something, or borrowed some sugar, or borrowed just something, just put him in her house for some reason. The defense could do anything. They're like fictional writers. Just make up any shit.
This is one of the first confessions we videotaped. I was a little bit self-conscious, but I thought a videotape would be the best evidence.
Okay, let's go back to May of 1987. Why don't you tell me what you were doing on a daily basis at that time?
I was living with my sister at the time.
He looks nervous as hell. He's got his
He was
hand.
upset being arrested. He'd been around the block enough.
He has his hand on his head, just like rocking back and forth a little bit, like just acting paranoid and scared.
No, this was serious.
His hand is through his
I
hair.
want you to tell me as much as you can remember as to what went on that night.
That night, my sister came home.
Go ahead, Quentin.
And she said, why don't we break into the next door neighbor's house?
Meaning the lady that got murdered?
Yes.
Okay. Whose idea was it to go into this house?
My sister.
The sister was not a suspect in this crime. I knew she wasn't. I had already proved that she was somewhere else, so I thought I will let them go with this because this is still leading us toward the facts.
How'd you get in?
Oh, that's good, because they already found out that the sister had an alibi and wasn't at her house that day or that night. So he's saying that his sister was home and she was like, "Hey, let's break in." He's lying.
There's a door leading into the house through the garage, and it was unlocked.
As Clinton breaks his details down into blaming his sister for this entire
You
thing,
liar.
he's actually confessing. When he's saying she did something,
I know.
he's really saying this is what
He
I
did
did.
it.
Bras fit small-chested women like this.
Atrocious gapping.
The lady seen me and my sister. They started wrestling around, ended up in the kitchen. I was right there by that door. That's the furthest I went in there.
Quentin claims he did go into the house, but only as far as the doorway to the attached garage.
Everything he's saying that his sister did, she was fighting with her, there's a struggle, and he's describing what he did with this poor woman who was brutally murdered.
Do you remember it enough to be able to draw it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move right over here. Draw it big enough so this camera's going to be able to see it.
If Quentin can draw the scene, that means he's the one in the house.
We came in from here and they started wrestling.
He doesn't even know it. He doesn't even know that they cleared his sister 7 years ago. Or maybe they just asked her about it now in 1994, January 13th, 1994. Close to my birthday.
In there.
They
Did this
know
big living room area, did it have a door?
everything he's
Back door.
talking about. This is
I remember
him
there's like a
describing
bar or
what
something
he did.
in the kitchen, like around here.
I love love it. I love it.
He's saying, I just got inside the doorway from the garage, but yet he's showing us 1 or 2 rooms away.
Quentin's statement is incriminating, but Huff still needs a full confession.
I did not kill her. I seen her stab that lady. She stabbed her, Mike. And I don't care what it takes, but I'm not doing time for it. She'll do it.
Have you ever once told me this story?
No.
So you have lied to me in the past about all these
Yes,
stories.
sir, I have.
You're lying right now?
No, sir.
You're saying that you saw your sister stab Janoris Davis,
Yes.
and you didn't do anything to go help the lady.
Because I was scared, Mike. I didn't.
For what?
Because I didn't know what to do. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
What a pathetic loser.
I am realizing I am not getting what I need, and that's the truth. I really wanted to be confrontational to him, but I looked up and realizing this was on camera.
Huff is concerned if he pushes too hard, his aggressiveness will come across negatively on the interrogation tape.
I was worried that I would get into a shouting match with him, that it would get unprofessional. I worried that that might disappoint the jurors or make them think less of me. I just didn't know what the end result was going to be.
Huff decides to end the interrogation without a confession.
It's now 22:02 hours. This will be the end of tape statement of Quentin Barnes.
I knew that the case was thin, and I didn't confront him. I wasn't forceful enough, and I let him be in control. I just hoped I got enough to get him convicted. Now we've got the rooms wired, but this was the first time, and it was a little awkward, and I was a little self-conscious, but you know what, at the end of the day, the jury looked at this statement, and the prosecution lined it out piece by piece. Only the killer would know the inside of this.
Oh, he's teaching a bunch of police officers, future detectives.
House. Only the killer would know exactly where it happened. He admitted to being there.
Huff teaches there can be more to the interrogation than getting a confession.
The end result was that the jury convicted him and he got a life sentence. I poured my heart and soul in this case.
He got a life sentence.
7 years worth of it. It was very personal, and it was very satisfying that he got convicted and that the truth was heard.
Quentin Barnes was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Good. Quentin's sister was never suspected to have any involvement in this crime and was never charged. I'm curious, during those 7 years that he was out and free, did he kill anyone else? Did he break into any other women's houses? Because people that kill and get away with it, then it's not just serial killers. I still wonder why he broke in. Was it robbery? Was it to rape her? Whatever the case, it happened in 1987, and he was brought in and brought to trial in 1994. 7 years is a long time. I bet he killed at least one other female, or at least raped, broke into other homes. You just don't kill someone brutally like that and just become clean. And anyways, take care, be safe, peace everyone.